Hey guys, this week we're talking about our favourite game characters. Right, so we're going to tell you what we feel is our favourite characters of all time. Now it goes back, we've been gaming for as old as both of us can remember. I always say 2, but I probably was born with a controller in my hand or a keyboard or whatever. And I don't know, do you want to go first or do you want me to go first? I don't mind.
I'll go. I'll just kick off with.
Yeah, you go first, Paolo. What was the most memorable characters you mentioned?
Well, I'm going to say. First off, I'm just going to quickly say with Mario, Donkey Kong, and Link from Zelda, because they were childhood ones way back when I was, I don't know how younger than a teen or, single figures or whatever. Had them on the SNES. So they're. I think they're going to be more of my honourable mentions, not up to date because Donkey Kong's had so many games out, so Zelda, so the Marios, and I haven't played them to. I've only got the memories of back then. But I'm going to kick off, say over the last decade or so. I'm going to kick off with John Marston.
Okay, why?
I just thought he was brilliant. I mean, a lot of people are probably going to say Arthur Morgan. I've not played Red Dead Redemption 2. I've played it a little bit, but not enough to get to connect with Arthur, to know what he's all about, etc., etc. Because of the minute I'm playing other games, and I don't want to sort of get another game or start playing another game, and then ones just get pushed one side. Because that's a habit I used to always have, where I'd play a game, another one.
You'd be playing like a Tomb Raider recently.
Yeah, another game would come out, and that game I was playing would be forgot. So Red Dead 2 will come along eventually, and Arthur might make it in the list, because I'm sure we'll do another one, because there's games coming out, and I'm sure the characters will make it into the list. So it's John Marston for me, and Lara Croft. I mean,
she's a legend.
She's been around since.
And she's evolved so much over time, hasn't she?
Yeah, she's been around since the early 90s. But I didn't play them back then, because I found them my age, too difficult. But the first Tomb Raider, Shadow of the Tomb Raider, and Rise of the Tomb Raider, and then Shadow of the Tomb Raider is the one I'm playing at the minute. And yeah, she's definitely one of my favourites, because she's gone from this young, innocent, just out of college girl, and now she's gone to basically a female Rambo, and she's brutal in this one, in the Shadow of the Tomb Raider. It's almost like, is she the villain, or is she still this innocent victim?
I think I've only seen clips of it, sadly, but I've seen you play quite a bit of it, and it does look really good.
Yeah, it's absolutely brilliant. I mean, there's people out there that say, that they sort of prefer the other ones because this one's got less shooting. I prefer that, to be honest, because in my head Tomb Raider was never all about just going in guns blazing. True. This one requires a lot of thinking. Your brain needs to be switched on.
I think Underworld ruined it a little bit. Was it Underworld where it was literally too puzzly?
Yeah.
I know that sort of goes against
there's puzzles in this one. There's puzzles that I've had to, really scratch my head to the point where I feel like I'm, scratching the skin away from my head. And once I've solved them, I've just been like, almost not relieved, but almost like, yeah, I've done that like all on my own. Whereas in years ago, I probably would have had to watch some YouTube video to work out how to do. I've spent about half hour trying to work out a puzzle before, and I've started to get quite frustrated. I've managed to do it, and I actually feel like for the first time, probably not just in a Tomb Raider game, but probably first time in a game, I actually feel like I'm on an adventure as well. It's really strange, and I'm over 60% through it, so I'm having to give it a little bit of a break because I don't really want it to end. So for me, John Marston and Lara Croft at the minute, and obviously I'll give you a few others once you've...
All right, fair enough. I was going to say John, but I feel you've taken John, so it's pointless to go over John again. But I will knock out a few honourable mentions if we haven't already mentioned them. Marcus Phoenix from the Gears of War series and his partner Dom. The three main characters in GTA 5.
Yeah. Trevor, Michael and Franklin.
They are awesome.
Yeah. The only reason why I'm not putting them actually on the actual list, but they're sort of maybe just honourable mentions, is because they're three good characters, But at the end of the day, they're in a Grand Theft Auto game, aren't they? And it's Grand Theft Auto. They're good games, but if they're in some other sort of franchise,
I sort of get what you mean. They're awesome, but you can't beat maybe a character from Uncharted, for example.
yeah. I mean,
or
it's
Tomb Raider.
a Grand Theft. Or they're probably the best characters since probably for me. I think I've got his name, Tommy Vercetti from Vice City.
Oh God, yeah.
Nico in Grand Theft Auto 4 was forgettable for me. I wasn't too fussed about him.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah, I think even Rockstar want to forget about
CJ from San Andreas. He was all right. He was not too bad. I think Michael, Trevor, and Franklin are the three best.
Yeah, they're much more real, believable, relatable in a weird way, and likeable, aren't they? All three of them. I'm going to say briefly Leon. Have we already mentioned Leon?
No, not yet. No.
I would say Leon. Now, for me, I know we've already mentioned Red Dead, but I love the second Red Dead. It's a brilliant game, and I'll get back to that in a minute. But Leon...
So I actually feel quite happy the fact I haven't... For all of you that have played Red Dead 2, and we've always said we would love to go back to a game and play it like and have that same feeling.
Maybe now we get to do that for you.
Yeah, I'm still yet to play Red Dead 2, so it's like...
That's cool, that's cool. I love Leon. I would quite happily say that Resident Evil 4 is the best Resident Evil game, period. I have all the new ones, all the old ones.
A lot of people say that.
Yeah, exactly. And just because Leon is such a likeable character, and the story is so believable. Literally, all the villains in it are so memorable. You know, could you have guard Leon and Mr. Kennedy and Lord Sattler and anyway, all the main villains in it. Whatever you call them. It's just like an interactive film.
And I think with Leon, I think if there was a Resident Evil pie chart, I think he would take up a whole chunk of the first character that comes to mind in a Resident Evil, and for him to actually more or less have his own. See, I never played any of the older Resident Evil. That was the first Resident Evil that I completed. I played 1 and 2, and I was young, and they kind of scared me a little bit. I was a bit like, no, I don't want to play this. Now I played 4, and I was like, wow. Played 5. That was alright. Pretty much more the same. Played 6. 6 is good co-op. Definitely, 100%. It's fun co-op on your own.
5's good co-op as well.
On your own, to me, it feels borderland impossible. And then they've obviously gone to 7, but we're not talking about that. We're talking about obviously the characters. But yeah, Leon Kennedy.
I do like the character. I don't know. Just there. If I'm thinking what I'm doing in the original Wolfenstein, you had like a little face there, and
where he'd be like, he gets shot, he'd be like,
yeah, and in a weird way, as a kid anyway.
And if on about 5% health, he'd be like,
and for some reason, I felt like a really. I don't know, like connect with his character because you see his face. I don't know. And characters we probably only mentioned in the old Titanic game in the mid-90s. There's a lot of characters that were good, but I've decided my 2 most memorable characters that could change. In no particular, I'm not going to put them in any order. Just as soon as they bang out, I'm going to say Arthur Morgan, purely because he's such a likeable, interesting, well-developed character. I can't say that word. He's just a brilliant character. He's just got so much history to him. His connection with the other characters, his love interest with Mary, just the way he always tries to do the right thing within his world. Not everybody agrees with the way he goes about it, but it's sort of like if you sort of got wrapped up in that, he'd be the person you'd want to cling on to because you'd feel safe with him. I don't know, he was just an absolutely all-round brilliant character. Loved him to bits.
Yeah.
Absolutely brilliant. And, you know, as much as I love John Marston, who is still a legend, not taking anything away from him, John Marston is a legend, but I just love Arthur Morgan. And my other really memorable character, who I'm going to mention tonight, is Captain Lowe from The Dig. Now, most of you have probably never heard of The Dig. If you have, shout out to you. Awesome. It was an old DOS game back in the mid-90s, about 95 or whatever it was. And I think I originally got it as a demo. It's basically an asteroid's going towards Earth. NASA, whatnot, sent a spaceship up to sort of blast it away. It turned into a spaceship. Turns out it was actually sent out to call for help. They get transformed millions of light years away, and they get lost on an alien planet, and they're basically going to find their way home. And I love Captain Low because he's basically just a simple, average bloke or whatever, captain of a crew of 2 or 3. And he's basically, his interactions with the other characters, even though it's a point and shoot 95 game, his interaction with the other characters is so believable and interesting. His little voiceovers that pull you in. He's just a brilliant character, and there's something about him that's always pulled me in. I've always remembered him from my childhood and all the rest of it. And I don't know, he's just a real likeable character that I've clearly, whenever we do lists or we ever have a conversation about our favourite games of all time, the dig always gets brought up. So there must be part of Captain Low that has done that for me. So I love Captain Low. So I'm going to say for now, he's one of my favourite characters of all time. And I say one of because tomorrow or late tonight I might go, oh yeah, I forgot such and such.
Yeah.
So who are your favourite two, do you reckon?
I'm going to put, obviously, John Marston's obviously one of them. I'm going to throw the Uncharted in there as well, Drake.
Yeah, you like him. Because
he's like,
brilliant games.
It's almost like, he's like Tomb Raider, Lara Croft, in the sense of treasure hunting, doing dangerous things that you shouldn't, but obviously, except with Lara Croft, there's almost like regret, or she sees dangers and she doesn't want to do some of the things she has to do.
Yep.
Whereas I think Nathan Drake's pretty much like the opposite.
Yeah.
Playing that, it's hilarious sometimes because the most dangerous situations, he's just doesn't really give a ball, to be honest. He's just laughing it off. He's just doing a running commentary on himself, and he just doesn't see any dangers. It's almost like a big kid. Like kids don't see danger when they're young. That's almost like what he's like. Joel, I'm going to stick in there from The Last of Us. That was a brilliant game. And what puts Joel on this list as well is Troy Baker and Nolan North, who does the voice of Drake. Troy Baker does the voice of a hell of a lot of people in games, and Joel's one of them. And I watched a video the other day, and Joel got Troy Baker's #1 best performance.
Wow!
And Joel in that game, he just starts off as he's a father. He's got a daughter, and then it's all hell breaks loose, and it becomes a post-apocalyptic world. And he's basically spoiler alert. So you might want to fast forward the next few minutes or whatever, or I'll put my thumb up to let you know when spoiler's over. He basically loses his daughter in quite a heartbreaking moment, isn't it? Because you've seen the beginning of that.
About
when his daughter's shot, and then along comes Ellie, who needs escorting over this post-apocalyptic United States, and Joel's just a typical, you're a little brat. You're a little shit. What are you doing? Let me just do what I'm supposed to do. Escort you over this land and just get rid of you. But as the game goes on, they go through a hell of a lot, and this bond starts to sort of form. And it's really cool to see because how he starts, and he's not an ass about it. Like he protects her all the way through, but then it comes to a point where she then starts to protect him and get him out of the situation. It starts to tweak him, and he's like, oh, maybe I do need this, this, maybe we can help each other. And they just form a bond, which is just awesome. And another one is, you can probably back me up on this one. You haven't played the game, but it's Geralt from The Witcher. Because I never thought I'd say that. It took me about 5 attempts to get into this game, and I finally have. You've heard the dialogue in it and the voice acting,
it's brilliant,
and all that. He's just some deep voiced hunky guy, and who doesn't want that in a game? It's just brilliant because you can have in a lot of games I tend to just want to skip a conversation that you had there having with somebody.
So I like to watch and listen to them.
This is the first game where I could just listen for hours when they just sat there and just talking and whatever. And the story so far has been absolutely brilliant. The open world's awesome. Awesome character. He's calm. He's just calm, collected, sort of. he's a good character. I never thought I'd say that, because he's almost like. Just I've played a lot of games where it's almost Drake from Uncharted is a human, Tomb Raider is a human, Joel is a human, blah blah blah. Resident Evil, Leon's a human. Geralt is human, but obviously something's happened in his past where he's been near death, and he's obviously got powers and all this kind of stuff. He's a good character. I really, really do like him.
All right, that's cool. So as you can see, we've told you what characters are memorable to us, what characters we've liked and been related to. So feel free to comment below on what characters you like, if there's any we've missed or ones you agree with or don't agree with. Be interested to see what you like and feel below. And don't forget to like, subscribe obviously to the channel, and don't forget to click that little TBI Universe icon to subscribe, share with friends, and just enjoy your gaming. Tell us what experiences you like and why you like the characters, so that'd be interesting. And see you next time.